our guys, we're able to get some guys rested. We're able to, work on some things that need work. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we can improve on as a team. And really get some fundamental stuff that gets, lost every once in a while. Really that training camp mentality when you're working fundamentals. And a lot of techniques that, you rush through some individual drills during a game week to get there just with your amount of time on the field. So I think we're able to get a bunch of that stuff done. We'll see. We've got to see. Today's a very, very important day. I always think coming back off a bye week, that Monday practice, we're going to count on our leadership. Last bye week, it's unique year when you have 2 in 1 year. The last bye week, though, I thought we had a great Monday practice coming out of it. Guys came in that we weren't sluggish, which sometimes, guys haven't been out on the field since Thursday morning, and here we come Monday afternoon. We got to hit the field 100 miles an hour, get ready to go, and have a great week of practice and be a much better team we were than before the bye week or when we got off the field against Auburn. And we're going to need to do that Kentucky game this week. It's going to be a very, very challenging game. Our game against them last year, you look at a lot of similarities with the teams. Our game against them last year came right down to the final play. They got a lot of their star players are back. We have a lot of guys back this year. So I know they're going to have a lot of confidence. Obviously, anytime you're on the road in the SEC is a huge challenge. And they're a team that's, to me, I don't know that you always can judge Saturday night in Death Valley as defining your season, in any way, shape, good or bad. I think they had a tough game last week with some things that kind of went wrong for them, but you watch their overall body of work on the season. They've got very, very talented players. The Tolles, their quarterback, to me, really throws the ball well, has the size to be able to stand in the pocket and really throw it. But is very deceptively athletically. I think he's a much better runner than he gets credit for. They rotate those running backs through, and they all bring a little something different to the table, but very, very productive players. They'll get in a wildcat a bunch and just try to even out the numbers for you so those guys can get some runs in there. They got some explosive wide receivers. Bud Dupree, one of the most leads right now, I think leads the nation or SEC in career sacks. So they certainly have a lot of big-time playmakers on their team, and obviously being at home is going to be a huge challenge for our guys. And and our chance, our whole focus, our chance is to get a fourth SEC win this week, and that's really what it's all about.
Questions, and we'll get a mic to you since you're streaming here.
We're streaming. Like salmon in Alaska.
Good, streaming. Coach, if you ever start to notice the guys maybe go through the motions, especially these Mondays after a bye week, how do you ramp them up, juice them up?
Well, to me, if we're going to be successful, I don't need to be the one doing that. That comes from within, the leadership within the team. I think our guys understand how much we have to improve and how much we have to get better, and the only way to do that is through hard work. And so, to me, that has to come from within the team. If I have to be a cheerleader out of practice, we're going to have some problems. And so our guys within the team need to make sure we take the field with that right tempo. And I think when our guys, we really, you get to sit back and look last week at some things that, you just look. I think we're last in the SEC in total defense and passing defense. We're last in our red zone offense. So there's a lot of little things we have to improve on as a football team as we move forward. And so I think our guys, it's really, especially for the older guys, them to see that, look statistically where we're at, look at beyond the statistics. And, some of it's deceiving, and, some we might not be, I look statistically, we might not be as good in some categories as statistics say we are, and maybe not as bad in other categories where statistics say we are. But I think our guys look at that and really can see the areas we need to improve. And so, they know that we got to do that on the practice field. The only way we're going to do, you go through the motions, you're casual about anything, you're certainly not going to improve.
Coach, a lot of talk around Kentucky, especially going into this season, and just how improved they are. What's your assessment of their program and where they are this year?
Well, I think Mark's done a great job because, to me, the first thing you start with is how our guys playing hard. You know, it all starts with, are they playing hard? You know, I mean, you can have, you know, you can get the talent or not talent, but I mean, are your guys playing hard? And they obviously are playing hard. They play with a lot of energy out there on the field. You know, they're guys stepping up to make big plays for them when they need them. You know, and all of that's a sign that they really have bought into what Mark's trying to build there and what they're trying to do. And you know, I think you're seeing that steps and those rewards show on the field for them this year with, you know, with their great start that they've had. I mean, they're 5-2, and you know, one of those, both losses are SEC road games, and one of them was a triple overtime. I think it went to game. It was a triple overtime game. You know, so I mean, when you look in terms of that and the improvement that they've made, they're up there as competing with anybody. And you know, and they can compete and beat anybody out there.
You sort of touched on this already, but everybody just for weeks was so hyper-focused and the games were so huge. And I know within the program this is still a huge game this week, but what do you look for when you're looking for letdowns or even subconsciously? I mean, what will you be looking for today?
Well, I mean, one, it is the focus off the bye week. I think, you know, for our guys, you know, as we've always said, a win in the SEC gets you even a bigger game the next week. This is the biggest game we've played of the season so far. You know, and I know the last game, the Auburn game, I said it was the biggest play ever played in Mississippi. I think this one's bigger now. You know, now we're a team that has a target on our back. For the first time, we're going into a game with a target on our back, having to go on the road in a hostile environment against a team that's one of the hottest teams in college football this year, or most improved teams in college football anyway this year. And so, you know, our guys better learn how to handle that and make sure that we have that unbelievable focus on how big a game this really is.